It's time for the School Spotlight, brought to you by the Goodland Regional Medical Center here on the Rockingham Media Network. I'm Curtis Duncan. Thanks for being with us. We have the Goodland School Superintendent / coach / bus driver / dad, and I heard grandpa in there. So Bill Bierman, great to have you with us. Welcome. Your schedule's busy.
Well, certainly those last two, the dad and grandpa part, are different qualifications probably than the first couple. But yesterday I even had to ref junior high boys basketball because we had a late official not be able to get there. So enjoy those opportunities to be out and about with kids and doing certain things. So it's certainly enjoyable in certain aspects as well. As
we record this on the 24th of February, and I can't believe it's the 24th already, your schedule, even not having any basketball this weekend with the girls, as you're the girls coach, you still have things to do.
Well, there's always things to do. Like my main job is superintendent of schools, and so therefore that job is always busy and active. And honestly, this is the time of year again where we've got a lot of legislative things going on too. You got to monitor and keep up on and watch and communicate with. But really for me though, this is the time of year where I'm really focusing on next year, from staffing to budget to what we need to be looking at program wise. We've been in a lot of great discussions in the district internally and with the board on offerings and curriculum and the way we do certain things and looking to maybe change some things. So those are always discussions that take a long time because you're working with staff, you're collecting information, you're visiting other schools. What do you guys do? Just in an effort to kind of try to keep school improvement alive and well in our district and always wanting to do better.
You are always working with the instructors and the administrators. Do you sit down physically face-to-face and visit with each teacher and say, okay, are you going to be with us next year? Are you planning to teach again?
Well, I actually don't ever really ask that question per se. A lot of that just comes about in hopefully honest and open communication with them and in letting you know and those types of things. But it has been great. I said that we've taken time here the last week or so, my curriculum director, Melanie Days, and I, and the principals, like we've gone out and we're doing a lot of K-6 reading intervention discussions with our staff. And we have been taking time with them on their common plan time, like where we have all the second grade teachers together to just go out and talk to them about, hey, we've always done it this way, but what's a better way to do it? What do we need to be doing? What support do you need to provide reading support for our students? And that's an example. So I'm just giving you one example. But, that's been really powerful. It always makes me think, God dang, I need to do this more. I need to get out more and just visit with my teachers and have a professional dialogue about what we're doing in our schools. But I value their time, and they're busy people just like we all are. So.
Sure, they've got tests to grade and
absolutely,
and lesson plans to take care of. They don't use the old lesson plan book anymore, do they?
You'd be surprised, Curtis. We still have that some to do. They obviously our veteran teachers that have been around a while still probably do it that way. If I was in the classroom, I'd probably still maybe do it that way, that hard copy in front of me. Here's what I'm like. So when I show up on Sunday, I can see what I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I can see that. I'm still a big see guy. I got to be able to see that visually and that hard copy piece a little bit. Obviously, we have digital resources that help us with planning as well.
Well, and that hard copy is probably good for substitute teachers.
It is, yeah. I mean, and that's always something that's good. And it's good then to reflect and look at again next year. Not that you can't do that in a digital format. It's really whatever you're comfortable with and what allows you to provide a good planning instruction for kids.
How many more substitutes do we need?
We will take as many as we can because we still, and we have had, on a positive note, we have had a couple of other people come into our system helping with substitute, and we're very appreciative of that. But we still have a lot of coverage for substitutes. I mean, teachers as well. When they're gone, we don't have enough. So this teacher, instead of planning on their plan time for their next lesson, will step in and coverage, right? Or we have some of our classified staff, our paras and other people that we've had to pull into an emergency situation to cover that class for a little bit of time. Never all day, but just kind of making the pieces fit so we can continue to provide learning for students.
And for transportation for students, you still apparently need some more bus drivers.
We do. We stopped the in-town shuttle here a couple of months ago because we just don't have enough. We still, I think that's something we will hopefully consider about bringing back when we have enough staff to consistently run that. But Yeah, that is a struggle. And I should throw into this, we also need activity bus drivers, right? So if there's someone out there who just wants to, who's going to the game already and would like to be paid to go to the game and get in free and have their meal paid for, like, right, everything that goes with it, we need those people too, because that's where we get in the bind, because some of our activity bus drivers are our route drivers. And so when they have to, they can't go do the activity bus because they got the afternoon route. Those types of things happen. So substitute drivers, full-time drivers, activity bus drivers, all of them. We'd talk to anybody about it.
And they just contact the high school office or your office?
Yeah, they could call, my office would be fine, or call out to Bus Barn. That information's on our website. Talk to Justin directly. I mean, ultimately, I'll have them visit with him as our transportation director. But again, or they could email me direct. They can message me through our website privately too. So there's lots of ways to do it.
Good. Well, let's change gears and talk about the state legislature. They're in little break now. How are they doing? Are they treating the schools right with enough money? Are they cutting back? Are they adding a lot? What's going on?
Well, a lot of it almost becomes draining sometimes that as superintendent of schools, I feel like every year I've got to fight for our kids. I mean, it just because such a challenge on that front that it seems like public education just gets hammered every year, and no different than this year. And some of it I just don't understand. Do I acknowledge as a school that we need to do better? Absolutely. Are our scores where they need to be? No, they're not. But that doesn't mean I don't have great teachers who are doing everything they can with the kids that we have walk through our front door. And we take all kids. All kids, right? We're not a private school. We don't get to decide we want you and we don't want you. We take all kids and we do the best we can. And this year, I hope our community is aware and knowledgeable of what's happening in our legislators on this attack on public education. We literally have legislators who want to kill it. I mean, they see it as a taxpayer drain. And now the conversation of the voucher system, where we're literally going to give people a $5,000, here's $5,000, do with it what you want, in the hopes for many of them that is help us pay for private schools. And it really they'll sugarcoat it, they'll make it sound whatever they want to, but in a way it really is an attack on public education. I think our state and our nation was founded on the backbone that we would educate all citizens. And it's really discerning. And there's sometimes my role as superintendent of schools, I am arguing for my schools. This is an issue where I'm not even arguing from a school perspective. This is about where we are as Kansans. This is about where do we want our communities to be in 20 years. To me, the backbones of our rural communities are our schools. These types of things that some of these people are thinking up will kill our schools. And in places like Goodland and Sharon and St. Francis and Northwest Kansas rural education, those are our communities. What do our communities look like in 20 years when these types of things happen? What does our state look like when we have an uneducated population and a gap that's only wider because of this voucher system? It's very concerning, Curtis.
We don't have any private schools around this area, do we?
We don't, but you would certainly see with the voucher system, they would pop up. And not even so much, I don't think like true private schools. You would see small pockets of things happen. Like we have a pretty good homeschool network in our community now. That's fine. If people choose to homeschool their kids, that's fine. That would grow dramatically in a voucher system. And with no regulatory or anything on okay, and there would be some very good ones, but there would also be some very much the possibility of misuse in that. We face now when kids meet adversity in school where they're not coming to school, we send notice of truancy and stuff. Many times those conversations end, fine, I'll just homeschool my kid. But what is happening in that setting? And this is why I talk about what's our society look like in 20 years with uneducated the students that become adults in our community. Some will do a great job with that, others won't. But you could certainly see it's not out of the realm of thought process to think, okay, well, we will just create our own little pocket of 10 schools times 5,000 is 50,000, hire our own one little to educate our kids. Now, we're not going to, we don't want you in this. We don't want you in this. And so this picking and choosing of kind of a small school, private schools, even though we don't have one in Goodland, Kansas, it's not hard to imagine that type of thing happening. And then what about the others? Okay.
I could see education destruction, it sounds like.
And honestly, that is the goal of some people. They will not come out and say that. It is sugar-coated with a lot of marketing and campaign, but it is not hard to see through the weeds, and it's very, like I said, I have now my mindset as a 50-year-old who's getting to the end of his career. I still have years left. I'm concerned now about my own kids' future and my grandkids' future. When it comes to schools and education. And it's concerning to me, very much so.
When somebody moves into a community, isn't that something that the parents usually look at for their children? Okay, what's the education level? What's the hospital level? What's the fire protection level? What about streets and home and safetiness and fire and police protection? Education's got to be right up there, and if they don't see the education, the little towns, little cities are going to have issues.
You could probably say it better than that. And I think most people do look at that, and they wanted to look at that. And I think, again, even though I acknowledge that some of our scores can be better, I think when people truly investigate our schools in Goodland, we have good schools. We have good teachers. You know, we've had some people move into our community lately, and we welcome them into our schools, and we tour them and do it and get them in the classroom, see what's going on. And that is always a positive experience for us. And that just gets back to, again, I think that's what people want in their communities is a strong school, right? A strong school, local school that is connected and tied to the community. And some of these bills will kill the future of that.
Are we really close to having big issues like that?
They're on the floor. They've been passed out of committee on the floor and voted by one of the houses already.
So our listeners and constituents and voters need to hop on the bandwagon.
I think if our local constituents want to continue to be proud of their schools, like I know that exists in Northwest Kansas, we need to hold our elected officials accountable for some of these votes.
So get on the phone, get on the
absolutely.
internet, let them know.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I think the education, once you lose that, you have lost it all.
I agree with you. I think it's what our nation was founded on. Yeah.
Indeed. The other things that we need to maybe focus on, how's the health of the school as far as physical health? Are we saving money with a lot of the reconstruction and new equipment and better lighting that you put in several years ago?
Yeah, that's why we always and we continue to make upgrades. We've done that at Central now, right? You've seen that. We drive by, new windows, right? New HVAC system there, new lighting there. All those things are paying dividends for us. I can't. The energy increases. I hate to think what my budget would be if we hadn't done that based on what the utility cost of things are now. So those things are happening. The physical brick and mortar pieces of our building are solid now. This community has done such a great job. Our board's had a great vision for that. We're in really good shape for the years to come on that piece. Yeah.
As a superintendent, you've got to feel good about that, knowing, okay, we're not falling down.
I do. You know, we continue to always have things that we need to improve, right? But it's not where it was at one time where I was pretty nervous about it. We've done a really good job, and our people do a good job taking care of what we have. There's always issues. For example, we had a unit go down at the high school. Which you're like, man, we just put those units in. Well, honestly, some of those units are 8-9 years ago, and just the maintenance of big air conditioning, heating units is part of what we have to do. You have those maintenance types of issues that come up, but by and large, everything's working great.
Well, I remember some of the public tours and I remember the one I was on. There was only 6 people in our district, and 3 were educators that went on this building by building tour. I mean, we went down into the locker rooms, we saw the pipes, we saw
guts of it.
We did. We saw it all, and that was scary.
Yeah.
You think, wow, you plug in one more crock pot and you're blowing fuses.
Yeah. So it's interesting you say that, yes. Which we needed some of the changes we made. Like sometimes you talk about electrical capacity even. Like so many of our buildings didn't even have the ability, even if we wanted to put air conditioners in. We couldn't because of that. And so we had a totally in all those systems, all buildings got those systems and put in higher quality, more efficient, even electrical grid capacity, all of that.
Absolutely astounding. And the schools do look great as you drive by and as you go into the schools, and our janitorial and custodial staff. Wow, what a job they have.
Mm-hmm. They do. And we need those people too. So, and, we talk about drivers and substitutes. We need all people. So anybody wants to be a part of a great team and really in it for kids, like, right? I when we talk to people and talk to people about our jobs, obviously the whole focus is that this job is about kids. You got at the core of what we do, you got to really love kids, and you got to love helping kids do well, succeed, move on, all those things. I mean, even sometimes you'd think a custodian, well, custodian just cleans, but at the backbone of that job, you got to understand why you're cleaning. Like, why are you cleaning? Why are you doing the things you do? And it's got to be about kids.
That's something exciting that the Sherman County Community Foundation, I believe, has done. They've put in an order for a new scoring table. That's really going to be pretty super for the Max Jones Fieldhouse.
Actually, and we've got a lot of those types of things happening. Our alumni has donated a new podium for like graduation. They want to do that. They raise money for new microscopes for our biology department through kind of Science Olympiad too. So between our community foundation, our local foundation, which almost probably every quarter, maybe semester, does something for our schools. They have a grant process things too, and do that. And then our top side committee, which is helping with the scoreboard, like you talked about.
That's top side committee. Yes, definitely.
So many of those dollars, they just love to give back to kids and continue to strive to make everything better. So it's great.
When do you hope to have that installed and in working order? Is there any?
I don't know. I think I'm sure. I think we've ordered it. You talking about the score table? Yeah, we've ordered it already. Obviously, with basketball season coming to the end, it's not a deal. I'm sure it's set to be in place before the start of school volleyball season in August. Yeah.
That is exciting. We can appreciate that. Anything else that you wanted to focus on here at our school spotlight?
No, those are the big topics. I really value my team, because I think we're really digging in now to really try to analyze our school on like I said, started the show off with a lot of things we're doing now to really try to figure out what we want to do. The board has a strategic planning meeting coming up that we're connecting in with this too, to kind of outline what do the next 5+ years look like? What do we want to focus on? What do we got to really dig in and get better at to improve our school? So that's exciting. I'm enjoying that with our staff. I got a great team of teachers and administrators and cooks, bus drivers, everybody working with us. So it's awesome.
Now, we cannot finish our Goodland Regional Medical Center School Spotlight without talking about the girls' basketball team and the boys' basketball team. And you're, of course, the coach of the girls' team. Give us a status how we're doing on that as we record this on the 24th of February.
Well, the girls feeling undefeated, 20-0. They were, and 20-0 and undefeated wasn't part of our goals. What were our goals is winning topside. We did that. We wanted to win orange and black. We did that. They wanted to win the GWAC title this year. They did that. So I'm proud of all their accomplishments for that. They've had a great year. And as we said here now, Sub-State rolls out next week, and the girls play Monday night here against Larned at 5 o'clock. Mountain, and the boys then will play Tuesday, and they get a home team. They've ended the season really good. They've got a lot of momentum. It's exciting to be able to look at our sub-state and know there's a chance that both of us could make it. Like both of us could make it to state, and how cool that would be. And our wrestlers are doing great. Our girls wrestling's done. They had a great year in their first kind of year, and we got boys wrestling going on right now. And then the crazy thing about all of that is spring sports start on Monday. So if you're not involved in basketball still, the baseball, softball, the golf, the track, all those things will be getting going on Monday already as we get to spring break.
That is amazing. And not only sports, great teams, but we've had great representation at music festivals and a lot of the other curricular activities that we have.
Yeah, so, our Science Olympiad team, which honestly is our strongest program. It's our best program. You talk about girls basketball, but But over time, Science Olympiad every year knocks it out of the park. They did again this year. They're headed to state. They qualified second in their regional. They're going to state. We'll see how they do there. We got kids at Wichita today that qualified for state music competition. And so you're right. All those extracurricular activities just make a well-rounded student, and we're proud.